Good morning. Thank you guys so much for holding this. I think a lot of people have asked us for transparency, and this is definitely what we want. My questions is more focused on the repayment process. So we've heard from, over 800 people claiming that they are having to repay in full their unemployment benefits. And these are not people that are saying it was fraud. They're saying they got their documents in on time, they met their deadlines, and yet they're still having to pay some tens of thousands of dollars. So I just want to get a very clear answer from you guys is, are you going to waive those who were eligible for the unemployment benefits, got everything in on their deadline, got other documents in, but are still getting that letter that they have to pay $10,000, $11,000 back?
Yes, if there's an individual who received overpayment and they've provided us with a waiver or they've appealed it, we've stopped any type of attempts, okay? So individuals who have legitimately provided us with documentation and they filled out the waiver, the answer to the question is generally no. Now, I can't comment on a specific matter because if a specific individual has some fact-intensive issues that throws off everything I just said, then that's a little bit different. But each one of those cases would be handled on a fact-by-fact basis. But generally speaking, if there is a legitimate overpayment and it falls within one of our waiver provisions, then that person will not be asked or be required to pay back any money.
Does there need to be some clarification from the department? A lot of people who filed for unemployment last year did it for the very first time. And we've heard from people who one small error in their documents or their filling out their forms caused them to either lose an appeal or have to be forced to pay quite a bit of money, sometimes an entire year's salary of what they actually made. So is there something that needs to be done where people can really understand what is exactly needed so that they do not have to pay that kind of money?
Sure. We're always refining our processes, and we do take suggestions from the public on all of that. But again, if an individual has made a simple mistake in terms of, and we can verify that it's not fraud, then there's a process in place for that, and we'll continue to follow that process. We want to make sure that when we're going after overpayments, we only want to go after overpayments that, people did not legitimately receive. So we're not in the business of trying to be, overly burdensome to individuals. And we do know that we can continue to refine our processes and to make those easier for individuals, and we'll continue to do that. And any information that you have that could help us do that, we'd appreciate it.
Regina, question for you. You mentioned the waiver system that's been in place for a while, but when I looked at the back of some of the repayment letters and I saw that description of the waiver system, it doesn't specifically say pandemic unemployment. So is that something that you guys are going to clarify with people? Because I think a lot of people didn't realize they could also, too, file to have their pandemic unemployment waived.
So if you look at the form you're looking at, the notice of repayment, you'll see up in the corner it says claim type, and so it would say PUA. So that they're getting that for the PUA program. But we understand that sometimes the government is not easily understood, so we can absolutely do some clarifications on that.